I was a thief. I was pretty good at it. And after a while, I was a pimp. Not because I wanted to. Women were coming to me wanting to pay. I said, okay, but see, back in the day, I'm going to tell you like it was. Now, if you can't handle this and you feel a need to walk out, that's all right. I ain't going to be mad at you. Because back in the day, that's when they had pimp mobiles, you know. Now, if anyone's from the inner city, you'd see these guys with a Cadillacs. They might have steer horns on the, decorations, diamond in the back, digging the scene, gangster lean. I was leaning too. In 1967, I was driving a 1967 Cocoa Brown Eldorado. That's just the way it was. But see, you got to understand. Let me make something clear here. Just so there won't be any misunderstanding. I wasn't really a pimp. I was really a Mac. That's what we call. Well, you had to. Do you know what that means? A Mac is a thief, a hustler. I was a hustler. And in my group, we looked down on pimps because they had to get their money from women.
Okay.
I didn't like the idea of getting my money from women. I don't need you to get paid. I get my own money.
Thank you.
And that's the way a Mac thinks. But now the woman came to me and said, Earl, I want to pay you. And she would recruit other women.
Oh, no.
Sorry about that. But I was kind of cute back in the day. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to tell now. Him? Cute? Look, I'm 66 years old, all right? I'm talking about when I was in my 20s. So anyway, I ended up going to prison. I went to prison. And I went to prison because, and this was after I quit the game. I was out of the game, and I'm going to college, and I'm a physics major at UMass in Park Square in downtown Boston. And I had told all my women that I don't want their money anymore, I don't want to see them anymore, I'm through, I'm out of the game. Damn, baby, you gonna make it? I hope you're gonna be all right. So anyway, they said, let's do this one more job. It was a jewelry and fur place. And that's how I got busted. Like the last time I got busted, and they sent me to prison, and the judge said, and there were like 5 of us, and I was the first one up, and the judge says, I've been looking for people like you, I've been looking for you college-educated thieves, because that's what I was. I was a college-educated thief, And so he gave me 2.5 to 3 years. I thought my knees would buckle. I just didn't believe I was going to prison because then again, you in that position, you just don't believe your doo-doo stink, so you don't think anything's going to happen to you, because you know how it is when you're young, you think you're a Superman, I figured I could, lead buildings in a single bound, I figured I was faster than a speeding bullet.
Wow.
You have to be there to understand. You young people don't remember when Superman was on television.
Right, yeah.
But that's okay. Matter of fact, I tell my students that I remember when we didn't have television, and we sat around, we listened to the radio, like Johnny Dollar, The Shadow, and stuff like that. But that's another story. So I'm in prison. I'm at Walpole, the maximum security prison in Massachusetts. Because I'm nonviolent, they transferred me to another prison. And guess what the name of it was? Norfolk. It's the same prison where Malcolm X did his time. You know? So I'm in Norfolk prison. They transferred me to Norfolk prison because I wasn't there on a violent beef. You know what I mean? Because when I was working, you know, that is stealing, you know, I never carried a gun, you know, I didn't carry a weapon, you know, and there wasn't a whole lot of problems with what I was doing because there was no one else there, so I wasn't putting anyone's life in danger, you know. Now, I'm a forensic clinical psychologist after having come out. Redemption. You know, for those of you that know somebody that might have a background similar to mine, understand that freedom isn't free.
That's right.
Just because you did your time, don't expect any favors. Don't expect anyone to like you as such. Because freedom isn't free. You know, and what you're going to have to do is the same thing that I had to do. Forgive. You're going to have to learn to forgive, because most problems that you have in your life can be resolved with forgiveness.
That's right.
Or you can come to me and pay me $120 an hour and I will listen to your problems as a clinical psychologist. Now I'm going to tell you how to forgive. Because, you know, people will say forgive, but they never tell you how to do it. Right? Right? So I'm going to tell you how to do it, you know. Now, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to shut up after that. Now, it's like this. There are secular and psychological ways of forgiving, and I certainly can teach that. But there's also a spiritual way of forgiving, and that's what I would like to share with you now. You know, because here's my thought. If you're a Christian or a spiritual person and you don't know how to use your spirituality and your belief in God to make you have a better life, you need to probably stop going to church anyway. It's just a waste of time.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Jesus Christ, and remember, this is not the gospel according to Earle Williams, it's just my take on it. And this is what happens when you give a psychologist a Bible. You know, funny things happen. You know. Jesus Christ, to me, is my role model for forgiveness. My role model. Now, let me tell you how this works. You remember when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane? Garden of Gethsemane. All right? He was praying. And Jesus was scared. So scared that he was sweating bullets. And he was upset. He was so upset, he said, Father, if there be any way, let this cup pass, but not my will be done, but yours. Now, what does that mean? Here's what it means. It means, I don't want to do this. This is not my idea of having a good time. There's nothing like being nailed to a tree to just ruin your whole doggone day. I would rather do something else. But I'm going to do this because you asked me to do it. That's what that means. So, after he did that, he prayed. Then he got busted. Came and they arrested him in the garden. They arrested him in the garden. They beat him, humiliated him, made him feel bad, made him look bad, wouldn't even trade him for a murderer. They'd rather let a murderer go free than him. They nailed him to a cross. To a cross. Jesus got an attitude. He got an attitude. How do I know he got an attitude? Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? You don't say that when you're pleased with somebody.
That's right.
You say that when you're upset.
That's true.
With somebody. Now, God is not going to make you, me, or Jesus do anything that we don't want to do.
That's right. That's right.
And so Jesus is going to have to figure this out for himself. Here's how he figured it out. This is how he changed his attitude. See, it's all about attitude. See, because I really, to tell you the truth, I don't know if Jesus' death and suffering would have earned my salvation if he had a bad attitude about being on the cross. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm thinking probably not. You know, how do you turn it around? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgive them. Now, I think that that's really very interesting. What do we learn from that? Well, at least a couple of things. At least a couple of things. One thing we learn is that forgiveness is not horizontal. Forgiveness is vertical. You see, I don't need your apology to forgive you.
That's right.
I don't need to even talk to you to forgive you.
True.
Other thing I learned, and trust me, I wasn't there. I'm old, but not that old.
Okay.
I don't believe that anyone apologized. I don't think that the ones that put those nails in his hands and feet said, I'm sorry. I don't think that the ones that put that crown of thorns on his head said, I'm sorry. I don't think that the one that pierced his side said, I'm sorry. Now, I wasn't there, but I just don't think they did. What does that teach me? I don't need an apology to forgive you.
Sound it.
I don't need that. Now, you see, this comes in handy as a clinical psychologist, because I'm dealing with women that may have gotten raped or sexually abused by someone that might have died already, and they're still carrying this hate around. I'm going to tell you how to forgive them. Forgiveness is vertical. It is not horizontal. My forgiving you has nothing to do with you. It's not even about you. It's about me and him. That's what's up. And that's my story. Thank you very much.